Hey, what's up guys, Benny here and welcome back to Xbox On. In this video, I'm going to be talking you through Watch Dogs Legion, which is a game we got early hands-on with as part of the Ubisoft Forward event. It's coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series X on the 29th of October. And while I didn't get to play it on a Series X, spending 3 hours in its dystopian future version of London has left me super hyped for this game. It's easily the best open world version of my home city that I've ever experienced, with so much to do and find. So here's 22 things that you've got to try in Watch Dogs Legion. Our demo opened where the game does, in the secret tunnels beneath Westminster, investigating a threat to Parliament. You're playing as Dalton. Basically, imagine Sean Bean as James Bond if he teamed up with DedSec, the hacker activist group who've starred in every Watch Dogs game. The enemy is Albion, a shadowy terrorist organization who've gone the full Guy Fawkes and planted a ton of explosives beneath the House of Commons, and worse, they want to frame DedSec for it. Cue a face-off in a location that you'll probably recognize from the news, the Commons Chamber, the home of British politics. Order! Order! Right, so let's talk combat. In Watch Dogs Legion, it's all about mixing up approaches, combining guns with melee takedowns. Once you've got a bit of practice in, you can chain the two together in ways that look incredibly cool. And that's before we even get to your phone, which is an equally important and powerful weapon in its own right, because it connects you to the world of CTOS and gives you control over all sorts of electronics, including some very neat gadgets. One of my favorite new additions is the remote control spiderbot. It's perfect for infiltrating spaces that you can't squeeze into, whether you want to activate the cloak and scuttle behind enemy lines undetected, or take them on directly with the mounted turret. As well as your own gadgets, you can use CTOS to hack, well, just about everything in the world. Power sources can be turned into traps either by making a noise that'll attract the nearest guard, turning them into a proximity-triggered mine, or just cause a big old explosion. You can hack those window washer platforms to get a leg up onto nearby rooftops, and even take control of a plane. Basically, if it's got a circuit board, you can tell it what to do. One of the most useful things that you can hack are CCTV cameras, but make sure you try pointing it at your character and any equipment that you've left on the ground, because you'll see, well, a fuzzy, blurry, pixelated face. DedSec didn't raise no fool. If you want to get a bit more hands-on with technology though, you can always just jack a car. There are some pretty sweet rides available, from fancy futuristic sports cars to hench military vehicles, plus a couple of other standouts that we'll get into in a minute. Honestly though, getting around London by car has never been so easy. Traffic's light, and you don't even need to worry about the congestion charge. Maybe this future isn't so bad after all. At least one fixture of London roads is still around though, the black cab, with a sci-fi spin. Naturally, they're self-driving, so you can climb in, set your destination, and just wait for auto drive to take you to your destination. Or you can just take the wheel and drive it yourself. I'm not sure this guy has any intention of paying the fare though. Or if you prefer 2 wheels to 4, there's also a selection of bikes to ride. And whilst you're at it, pull back on the thumbstick and you'll pop a wheelie. Go on, challenge yourself and see how long you can keep it going without crashing. But if even one wheel on the tarmac is too many, there are other options. Drone options. You can hijack enemy drones, but certain types of characters like this construction worker come with their own pet drone. Either way, just climb on top and you'll be able to steer your way through the air. It's maybe not a great way of traveling in style, but it'll also treat you to some excellent views of the London skyline. And speaking of which, one of the things you're absolutely going to want to do is play tourist in this version of London and see its versions of all the famous landmarks. So climb aboard my imaginary open-top bus and let's take a whistle-stop tour. There's the Shard, which already looks like it's from some sci-fi future in real life. And the Barbican, a brutalist masterpiece that's inspired a few games in its time. And now we're coming up on the Supreme Court, just around the corner from the iconic St Paul's Cathedral. Here's Tower Bridge, not to be confused with London Bridge, which just looks boring. and the Tower of London, which unfortunately has been taken over by Albion, the villainous private security force you'll be facing off against in Watch Dogs Legion. And Big Ben, or as I like to call it, Big Benny. Of course, as any pedantic people in the audience will tell you, that's technically just the name of the bell. The building is actually called the Elizabeth Tower. I think we can all agree Benny is the better name though. But the #1 tourist attraction on this tour has to be the London Eye. Once upon a time, the world's tallest Ferris wheel. You can catch a ride all the way to the top and get some pretty impressive snaps of the city below whilst you're up there. Now, if you're having the full London experience, that wouldn't be complete without a trip to the most British of institutions, the pub. There are enough of them in Watch Dogs for a solid pub crawl, but be aware that smashing a pint will cause your vision to go blurry and make things harder to control, and in the game too. And while you're in the pub, make sure to check if they've got one of these futuristic light-up dartboards, because Watch Dogs Legion has a whole minigame for chucking the darts. You can step up and play a solo game to practice your perfect 180, or you can go head-to-head with a local to win a few quid. Play drunk and it'll be harder to hit the target, but the prizes will be bigger if you do. Okay, so I had a couple pints of bitter for this next bit, so please forgive the wobbly screen. In the back room of the pub, there's a radiator with a switch that you can pull to open a secret door in the wall. This will take you to DedSec HQ, located in an abandoned underground station. Sure. While there, you can get a mission briefing, 3D print some weapons, unlock upgrades. Oh, and there's also a keg down there, so if you fancy another pint. This is probably a good time to talk about DedSec. Like any Rebel Alliance, it always needs new recruits. You can hire anyone, and I mean anyone on the street to your cause, letting you switch to them at any time. But for the best of the best, you'll want to track down skilled specialists. To do that, you can track them down on the map, like a beekeeper, or how about this hitman who happens to be a badass older lady called Theodora. To add these specialists to your team, you'll need to do something for them first, by completing a side mission. These can be tricky, as we're about to see, but for Theodora, it's well worth it. Once you've assembled a crack team, head back to base and jump in the photo booth. It'll let you assemble the squad and take a posed pic with your choice of stickers, filters, and all that. Now just to jump on CTOS and upload it to the gram. The coolest thing about how the DedSec squad works is what happens when you die. Well, technically get critically injured. However well you play, it'll inevitably happen at some point. And in this case, the developer told me I was safe and the turret wouldn't kill me. But yeah, this happened. Anyway, the squad's always there for backup, so when you get taken down, that just means it's time to pick a new operative and pick up where they left off, which in my case means getting revenge on that damn turret. Oh, and don't worry too much about your original character. They'll be out of commission while they rest up in hospital, but you can speed things up by hiring a paramedic to the squad. God bless the NHS. Jumping between characters will give you a new loadout and different abilities, which will give you a good idea of the way that you can approach Watch Dogs Legion. Even with a single character, there are a ton of ways to play, from full stealth to guns blazing. For example, look at our old friend Theodora. As a hit woman, she's got a special cloaking ability to let her sneak past guards undetected. But if you want to take the more direct approach, there's also this kick-ass gun execution move. I did try the sneaky approach, honest, but stealth's not really my strong suit.
God. Oh God, all right. It's done.
And it's not just missions either. Pretty much every aspect of Watch Dogs Legion encourages you to play however you want. You can focus on the critical path or just go for a wander and see what turns up. There's a load to find, probably too many to go into in one video. So let's finish with a quickfire round of cool little things to look out for. If you find a football in the world, it'll trigger a kick-ups minigame. You use one trigger for each foot, the bumpers to catch it up on the knee, and hit A for a cheeky header. Just like the real thing, it's all about timing and coordination, which I'm severely lacking. The battle against Albion isn't just fought with guns and martial arts and hacked drones, you also need to win the people over to your side. So, if you spot an Albion propaganda poster in the world, you can hack the screen to replace it with your own creation. If you find yourself in need of a little extra cash or just want to mess around on a moped, you can also take a job working as a delivery person for Parcel Fox, making sure the people of London get all their spiderbots and flashing dartboards on time. Okay, so this has to be the single best Easter egg I found, one for any Assassin's Creed fans out there. You can jump off rooftops and it'll trigger that classic swan dive animation. They've even got the same sound effect. Spot on. But this is just the start of what's waiting in the world of Watch Dogs Legion. It's not even everything I found during my session. If you've spotted anything else in this footage, shout it out down in the comments below. And if this has all got you as excited for the game as we are, then remember it's coming out on the 29th of October, and you can pre-order it on the Microsoft Store right now. That'll get you the Golden King pack with a few cosmetics to jazz up your weapons, car, and mask. For more info as we get closer to launch, including our first look at Ubisoft's other awesome franchise, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.